Okay, I realize that I've been saying this a lot lately, so much so that I seem like a broken record. But I, again, want to apologize for this being almost a week late. Normally, we do the Impact recaps on Thursday night, but the last several Thursday nights we've been watching movies, and we are going to be watching movies tomorrow. Actually, we're going to be watching one movie tomorrow, and one movie next Thursday. So we should be good for next week, which is, next week, which is, No Surrender. So I will be able to recap TNA for tomorrow night, on tomorrow night, and then I will give you a recap of TNA Impact Wrestling Presents No Surrender on the next week, which will be the last TNA Impact recap you get from me until October 3rd. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Like I said, I do this thing every year that while I am at Disney, I don't do recaps. I don't do Raw, SmackDown, Impact, NXT. If something does happen, and it might, that I feel like doing one, you might get surprised updates. You might get surprise recaps. I'm not exactly sure. Now, if I get back to the room early enough and I feel like I'm still awake and I have access to watch something via, I don't know, YouTube or Dailymotion, I will try to give you guys recaps. I'll try to stay on top of what's going on in WWE and TNA while I'm gone. But I can't promise that. So if you don't get Impact recaps for September 20th and 27th, I'm sorry about that. Excuse me. For those of you that also watch my Raw recaps, if you don't get Raw recaps for the 23rd and the 30th, again, I'm sorry. If you don't get SmackDown recaps for the 20th and the 27th, again, I'm sorry. And NXT recaps for those time frames as well. So I apologize if I'm not able to do this. Actually, I'm looking at it wrong. Impact recaps would be 19th and 26th. SmackDown would be 20th and 27th. Like I said, I'm looking at a calendar which looks really weird, to be totally honest. So, yeah, it looked different than I'm used to. So, yeah, it's weird because it doesn't do the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday on the opposite side. Oh, no. On Windows 7, it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it totally threw me off, and that's the reason I said the date's wrong. Other than the fact that, I can't do math, so that's not the case this time. So, there's my apology. And after we get done with Riddick tomorrow, I will wait until Impact is over at 11. I will rewatch it, I will shoot the recap, and I will get it out to you guys tomorrow. It will be very late tomorrow, but it will be tomorrow. So, with that being said, let's talk TNA Impact from last Thursday night, almost a week late. Like I said, I'm apologizing for this over and over again. I can't be sorry enough for that. So let's start with the first situation that starts the show. And it is the Aces and Eights, of course. So Bully Ray leads out the Aces and Eights with, of course, Tito Ortiz. And conspicuous by his absence is, of course, Devon, but obviously, if you watched last week's show, you do realize that, or I guess in last week from this show that I'm recapping right now, if you watched Impact 2 weeks ago, you would see that Devon was pinned by the phenomenal AJ Styles, and that's the reason why Devon was no longer a part of Aces and Eights and is no longer a member of the active TNA roster. So, Bully's just in a bad mood. And understandably so, because Devon is no longer here with us. I want answers right now. So he goes to every single member of the Aces and Eights, and he asks them verbatim what happened. So I'm just going to go through that. Bish, what happened? I don't know. He was your brother, but he was part of this family. And Bully's like, okay. He's like, Nuxie, you're my muscle man. What happened, bro? He's like, well, I was on the floor taking on Rampage and Magnus by myself. I did my job. He's like, yeah, I know you did, bro. Hey, Wes, what happened? Sorry, Prez, I don't know. I get it. I get it. You don't know. All right, Mr. Vice President, what happened to my brother? Mr. Anderson goes, I don't know, but you know what? Devon knew the consequences when he stepped inside the ring. It could have been any of us. It is what it is, Bully. And Bully's like, yeah, you're right. I agree. It is disappointment. But the reality is this. You see, my brother Devon has always been a disappointment. My brother Devon has always been a loser. And my brother Devon has always been simply my co-star or my sidekick. He did just what I told him to do. I never needed him before, and I never will again. The only person I need is the Huntington Beach bad boy. So, basically, he says, out with the Devon, in with the Tito. And you know what? We're going to make this official. We're going to give you your own cut. Mr. Anderson jumps up in his face and pretty much says, are you out of your freaking mind? Do we not vote anymore? It's like, he basically just like, trying to calm him down and everything, basically getting up in his face. And Bully's like, no, calm it down, back it down, Vice President. I'm the president. I do what I want when I want. Get in line, Ken, before I put you in line. Keep that in mind for later. Calls out his hot Brooke, and Brooke Tessmacher comes out to the ring. She has the cut, the aforementioned cut that's going to go to Tito Ortiz. Mr. Anderson gets up in Bully's face, and Bully backs him up, and Brooke gives Bully the cut. The cut is Devon's. He puts it on. He takes the patch that says Devon's name on it, rips it off, and tosses it at Mr. Anderson. What's done is done. You got a problem? You can get out. See, Hulk Hogan is finally back here tonight. I can't wait to see you, to introduce you to the only Brooke that ever mattered in my entire life. Okay, opening segment starts it off right away. For those of you that are saying that the Aces and Eights are played out, yeah, pretty much. But you have to resolve it sensibly. I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, and sensibility and TNA don't go hand in hand, but just bear with me. I have a reasoning for my madness here. So, this is to build collusion between the Aces and Eights. And of course, it's going to eventually lead to, when the Aces and Eights are disbanded, that they're still going to have a room for them on the roster. And of course, Mr. Anderson is trying to make Bully Ray understand that's like, do we not vote anymore? I mean, you didn't consult us about this. And Bully's like, it's my club. I do what I want. I'm Bully Ray. And you know who I am? And Mr. Anderson basically is like, you know, this is stupid. I mean, you really need to consult us before you make these decisions. Because think about it this way. There could be, I don't know, maybe a mutiny between the Aces and Eights. Could possibly happen. And we could see an impeachment of Bully Ray somewhere down the road, maybe, possibly. But I'm not exactly sure if they'll go that direction, because the Aces and Eights have pretty much run their course, and now they're just trying to finish it off in a legitimate manner and get everything wrapped up in a nice tight little bow. So there's absolutely nothing left behind when this storyline is finally said and done. So we get to our first match of the evening. And really good wrestling show tonight. Actually, really was an awesome wrestling show. I was very happy to be able to call this show, as I am with all the TNA shows. It is a damn shame that a lot of you out there will never watch this video. I know I'm saying this to people that are watching this video. But it's a damn shame out there that a lot of the wrestling fans that follow the Raw and SmackDown and NXT recaps here on Pop will never watch Impact. It is a damn shame, because there are some tremendous wrestling talent in TNA that really needs to be showcased a lot better than they are, obviously. Now, if they're not on Raw, they're not on SmackDown, most of you out there, not the ones watching this channel, but the people that watch the Raw and SmackDown recaps, they're not going to know about it. And there's some tremendous superstars busting their ass every single week to entertain the TNA fans. And I know the TNA fans are getting smaller by the day. I understand that. Do I believe TNA is on its way out? No, I don't. I think TNA has some fight left in them. I don't know exactly what direction we're going, but I think after Bound for Glory we'll get a better idea about what's going to happen. At least going into 2014. Do I think 2014 is the end of TNA? If they manage it correctly and make the right decisions this time, no, I don't. Do I think TNA lasts another 10 years? Maybe not. But I still think TNA has several good years left in them. And I really wish that people would give TNA the benefit of the doubt and just latch on for this last little while. If this is the last hurrah for total nonstop, oh my god, long day, total nonstop action wrestling, then, you know, I want to see more people pay attention. And if TNA were to close their doors, the WWE actually realizes that they've got some amazing talents, that they don't need to go to NXT. No offense to NXT, because I love NXT. They don't need to go and work their way up. No, they're seasoned and ready to go. And they need to be on television on a regular basis. And I'm just, like I said, I guess I'm a TNA apologist. You can call me that all you want. I know you people do. But thank you for watching this recap, first off, because that proves to me the people that watch this recap really do give a damn about Impact Wrestling and its survival in the global wrestling wars. Our first match, the first of 3 matches, a must-win situation in the Bound for Glory series. The first match is Frankie Kazarian of the Bad Influence taking on the charismatic enigma Jeff Hardy. This match was good, too. We pick it up midway through the match like we always do here on Pop. Excuse me. Kaz goes for a suplex. Hardy blocks it. Kaz goes for it again. Hardy blocks it again. He nails the sit-out front suplex, and Kaz gets down. So whip in, reverse, and Hardy catches them off the ropes with a flying forearm, inverted atomic drop, double leg, drops both heels into the midsection, and locks Kaz in a figure 4. This late in the Bound for Glory series, it is imperative that you get as many points as possible. And just racking up 7 points for a mere pinfall, it's not enough. It's not enough to get into the Final 4. So you have to completely tweak your style in order to get that submission victory, which gets you another 3, which means you'd have 10 points instead of 7. Those 10 points could be the difference between one place and another, one being 5th place and one being 4th place. And as a matter of fact, not to get ahead of myself, that's exactly what happens. So, and this match is part of it. So, Kaz is locked in the figure 4, and Kaz finally, manages to reverse the momentum. And Kaz ends up getting into the ropes, and Hardy catches them off with a twist of fate, gets reversed into a backslide, 1, 2, and a kick out. So, nice, very, very nice. Basically, I am very happy with this maneuver because you don't see it very often anymore. Kaz ripped him off the ropes, and he caught him with a bicycle kick. Yeah, you know, Matt Morgan's carbon footprint. So, 1, 2, and a kick out. So he whips him in, reverse. Kaz gets the boot up in the corner. He goes to the middle rope, and he dives off, catches the boot, twist of fate, rips off the shirt, goes up top, swanton, 1, 2, 3. Jeff Hardy gets a big 7 points in the Bound for Glory series. So, we'll talk about that in a minute. Great match. Great back and forth match. Jeff Hardy beats Kazarian. I was thinking this was going to be Bad Influence against Bad Influence and Bobby Roode, the Extraordinary Gentlemen's Organization, against AJ Styles in the finals of Bound for Glory. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen this time. Jeff Hardy wins, so Jeff Hardy is now in the Bound for Glory Final 4 as of this moment. That may change. We'll see. So, we get our next match, which is a 2 out of 3 falls #1 contenders match for the Knockouts Championship, currently held by Mickie James. It's ODB against Gail Kim, 2 TNA originals. Now, I know what you're saying. Oh, and Gail Kim had a stint in the WWE. Yeah, Gail Kim did have a stint in the WWE. Gail Kim gained her notoriety in TNA, regardless how you look at it. And ODB, she's been a jack of all trades. She obviously was the Knockouts official when the Joey Ryan thing fell through, and she has wrestled from time to time. She was a Knockouts Tag Team Champion with Showtime Eric Young, being married to said Showtime Eric Young, and now she is a legitimate contender to the Knockouts Championship. But she has to get by Gail Kim first. Can she? I'll tell you in a second. So Gail locks on this, what are the pretty much just steps into a, it's kind of a modified cloverleaf sharpshooter combination. And ODB fights out, and she fights it, but eventually she's forced to tap out. So that's the first fall right off the top. She goes for it again, and she gets small package, 1, 2, 3, and second fall goes down. So Gail works the leg the whole match. She goes for the ring post, wow, long day, the ring post figure 4, and she breaks at 5, rolls back into the ring, and, excuse me. Short arm clothesline, 1, 2, and a kick out. So ODB goes for the bam. It gets countered. Clip to the back of the kneecap. And she locks in a version of the stretch muffler, but ODB makes it to the ropes. She goes for eat defeat. It gets countered into the bam. Bam countered into a sunset flip. Sunset flip into a roll through. Locks on the Texas Cloverleaf and the tap out. ODB is now the new #1 contender to the Knockouts Championship. Okay. Do you put the championship on ODB? Potentially. It just kind of depends. I guess you could say ODB has been a company girl the entire time. And she hasn't gone anywhere. She hasn't done anything different. She has been with TNA. Been with TNA, been with TNA, been with TNA, been with TNA. Gail Kim, on the other hand, obviously went to WWE for a tick, and then she came back. Came back as a heel. So, obviously, ODB was going to win this match because Mickie's definitely the heel. Well, if Mickie loses the match, are everyone on the internet going to start the rumors of Mickie James going back to the WWE? You know, I don't even want to talk about the WWE in these videos. Because I talk a lot about the WWE on these videos, and I just want to talk TNA right now, so. It might happen, it might not, who knows. Fact remains, ODB is the #1 contender to Mickie James' Knockouts Championship. Now, I don't know if this match is going to happen at No Surrender in 2 weeks, or in 1 week, a week from tomorrow's Impact, or it's going to wait until Bound for Glory on October 20th, when we're on pay-per-view. But I know it's going to happen. So here's an interesting segment. The Main Event Mafia come out, well, Rampage, Jackson, Samoa Joe, and Sting come out. And, of course, AJ's nowhere to be found. Magnus isn't here, because apparently he's had some issues with not being able to make the show on time. So, full disclosure, he's on the Impact that's going to be on tomorrow night. But he wasn't able to make the building in time, so that's the reason why he wasn't on the show. So, that's the reason the match changed, because I believe at one point it was going to be Magnus and Bobby Roode, but they think they changed their mind on that. So, first off, Rampage is talking, and he says, pretty much, he is upset that Tito Ortiz cheap shotted him in the back of the head with a hammer. He wants Tito to know that he's not waiting for November 2nd at their Bellator fight for payback, and every chance he gets, he's going to stomp a mud hole in his ass. Tito better watch out, and that's Rampage's contribution to this promo. Samoa Joe comes out, and of course, everyone in the crowd is a big Joe supporter. Obviously, a lot of great Ring of Honor shows were in Cleveland, so obviously the crowd loves Joe. So if Joe yells Cleveland, Ohio, and they start chanting his name, he says, Mafia runs this town tonight. Things were different last week. They were outnumbered, outmanned, and outmaneuvered, but no one seemed like they wanted to step up. Until AJ Styles came out, he did the right thing. And Sting goes, anyone willing to step up and help the Mafia is welcome into the family. So he brings out AJ and is making a personal invite. It's like, the door's open if you want to join. But either way, we want to personally thank you and hopefully welcome you into the fold. So, Emo Styles comes out after last week's AJ Styles performance that ended up costing Devon his job. We saw the phenomenal AJ Styles. We didn't see Emo Styles. Emo Styles comes out and he's coming out to the Lone Wolf music. He's got the leather jacket on and the hood over the leather jacket, and he stands at the top of the ramp momentarily. He rips off the hood, and the AJ Styles music that we all know so well, the phenomenal AJ Styles music hits, and he continues in a very excited state getting into the ring. He cut his hair, he's clean shaven, he looks awesome. He basically got on the mic and says, I appreciate all that you're doing and all that you've done, and I appreciate you being out here, but I need to do this for myself. So Sting, Rampage, and Joe exit the ring. So AJ gets this for himself. AJ says, while I respect what the Main Event Mafia is doing, and I hope they kick the Aces and Eights' butt, the suit and tie, I've worn that before, it just isn't me. It isn't their fault, and over the past year, he's developed a couple trust issues. The only person he can trust is Alan Jones, which I believe is probably one of the only times that name has ever been uttered on television. Not the only one. I know there's more than one, but it doesn't happen very often. It's, like I said, it's when someone uses their real name in a promo, it's kind of wrestling jargon for this is going to be used so the smart marks are going to like, oh my god, he said his real name! It's going to be real now! Yeah. It's a crutch sometimes, but it made sense in the context of the promo. AJ says he's with no one. So he wants to answer a couple more questions. Why'd you change, AJ? And he says, well, he changed along with his perception of the business. But make no mistake about it, he's better than the best in the world. He's the phenomenal AJ Styles. And although AJ loves everything he's done inside the ring, the job, in a nutshell, pretty much does suck. It's like at one point, everyone, and I do mean everyone, has been shafted at their job. AJ realized over the past year he deserves something better. So he yells at Mike Tenay, and he yells at Dixie Carter through the camera. And AJ says, I've been here for the past 11 years just picking up the pieces time and time again. Whenever the next new direction or the next big thing would fail miserably. AJ said he prayed to be fired over the past year so he didn't have to quit himself. But he stayed there. He did his job, and he did his job well. Why? Because he has a family to support. AJ said he just showed up and started making people tap out. But over the past few months, something just kind of clicked. AJ liked being the go-to dependable guy who can steal the show. AJ says he can still be that go-to guy, and he is more than happy to carry the weight of TNA on his shoulders yet again. AJ says the question that remains, can he win the Bound for Glory series and become the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion? He drops the mic. Here comes Bobby Roode. AJ has never been a good promo. He really hasn't. Obviously, wrestling is more of his expertise. And the kind of like in the beginning of Impact Wrestling, when they were like trying to make it branded Impact. When Hogan first came in and they were doing the promo with Hogan and Abyss against Ric Flair and AJ Styles, Ric Flair ended up being AJ's mouthpiece because AJ can't really talk very well. He's getting better, he's progressing, but he's still kind of stagnant for as long as he's been in the business. Some people never get the promo gene. That's just how it works. Some people are great wrestlers, but great wrestlers have to have something else in order to make them intangible, to make them a household name that a fan that doesn't read the dirt sheets or hasn't read Pro Wrestling Illustrated all their lives or doesn't get old best of ECW compilation videos out of the back of their old wrestling magazines. The die-hard wrestling fan. So just Joe Schmo on the street that simply watches wrestling because he likes Hulk Hogan or he likes Jeff Hardy is going to, or in this day and age, he likes John Cena. He's going to understand that someone who may not be the greatest on the mic, who is amazing in the ring, can still be relevant. So that's where AJ stands. He's not a great promo, but this answered a lot of questions, kind of. Basically, AJ used this as a vehicle to propel himself to two possible scenarios. One, AJ ends up leaving TNA after this contract extension is up. And you know, if AJ ends up in WWE tomorrow, he's going to have a good run. He will, but I don't know. But the other one is AJ coming from behind, like I said at the beginning of this year, and winning the Bound for Glory series. And you set that up. But in order to do that, he's got to get past Bobby Roode. Can he? Well, we're about to find out. So, AJ goes up top. He dives off. Roode ducks out of the way. He lands on his feet, rolls out. Roode comes off the ropes. He catches him with a spine buster. Kay brought a moonsault, and he goes for a figure four. Roode kicks him off. AJ catches him with a Pele. He goes for the Styles Clash. Roode backdrops him over the top rope to the ramp. He lands on his feet. Springboard into Bobby Roode's crossface right in the center of the ring. AJ maneuvers his foot on the bottom rope. We get a rope break. So he locks the crossface on again, this time in the center of the ring. It gets countered, and AJ reverses it into the calf killer. Bobby Roode makes the ropes before he has to tap out. So Aries, wow, long day. I looked at Aries' name, sorry. AJ goes to the figure four. Roode kicks him off into the turnbuckle. He goes for the perfect plex. He's got the cradle, and he's about ready to go back with it. And AJ catches him with an inside cradle, 1, 2, 3, and gets another big 7 points in the Bound for Glory series. Our final match of the evening. Oh God, what a main event. The greatest man who ever lived, Austin Aries, taking on the fallen angel Christopher Daniels. Supposed to be the final match in the Bound for Glory series of 2013. And it would have been, but I'll get to that in a minute. So, I'd love to call this match, and I can, but I couldn't because of time restraints. So we'll just go midway through the match. Aries goes for the tope, and Daniels counters with the Fandango counter and kicks him in the side of the head. He rolls back in, makes the cover, 1, 2, and a kick out. Goes for the Arabian Press, or I guess some announcers would call it a split-legged moonsault. 1, 2, and a kick out. So, he goes for a reverse neck breaker and does that reverse headlock into a neck breaker he likes to do every once in a while. Kind of like an inverted bulldog, basically, like a reverse inverted bulldog. Okay, he whips him in, a reversal, and Aries gets locked into an abdominal stretch. Daniels reaches for the ropes, the referee spots him, and that allows Aries to maneuver Daniels into the abdominal stretch of his own. So it gets reversed. Daniels goes for the Uranagi. It gets countered in a reverse arm drag. Both men have the same idea. Both men go down courtesy of a double clothesline. So he whips him in, catches the elbow. Aries nails him with a backdrop suplex into a Uranagi, and goes for the pendulum elbow, 1-2, and Daniels kicks out. So he goes for the brain buster. Daniels knows it's coming and rams him back first into the turnbuckle. He sets him up on the middle turnbuckle. Actually, there we go. He goes to charge. There we go. I'm a step ahead of myself. He goes to charge in. Daniels gets hip tossed over the top to the floor. And of course, Aries uses this time to hit the heat-seeking missile, the tope into the guardrail, tosses him in, goes up top, and he gets caught. Daniels with Blue Thunder out of nowhere, 1-2, and a kick out. Daniels puts him on top. He goes for the iconoclasm, and it gets countered with the rain down elbow drops to the top of the head. He nails the missile drop kick, goes for the IED, he hits it in the corner, goes for the brain buster, gets countered. Daniels floats over, last rights, 1-2, and Aries kicks out. So they trade forearms in the center of the ring, and Aries finally gets the upper hand with 5 big, vicious forearms right to the jaw. He comes off the ropes, goes for the rolling elbow. Daniels counters with a big boot, and he goes for the palm strike. Palm strike. He comes off the ropes, and Aries charges in, nails him with a drop kick, grabs him, brainbuster, 1-2-3. Austin Aries gets another big 7 points in the Bound for Glory series, and that propels him to the second place position. We'll talk BFG series in a minute. My God, what a match. My God, what a match. Oh man, if I could get Austin Aries and Christopher Daniels on my television every single week, I would not have one single problem with it. I would love to see these two feud over the TNA World Heavyweight Championship somewhere down the road. I have said since day one, and I say it especially now, back when Jeff Hardy could not make the European tour, and they did Hardy versus Daniels, you should have put the title on Daniels, let him have it for 2 weeks, Hardy could win it back, I believe it was a lockdown, and then all's right in the world. I think Christopher Daniels needs to be World Heavyweight Champion before the year is over. Before TNA closes its doors, whenever that sad day shall be, Daniels needs to be World Heavyweight Champion. Daniels has proven time and time again why he is one of the best technicians in the wrestling business today. Daniels is great. He can talk, he can work, he is absolutely hated, yet he has a lot of fans at the same time. Daniels is a total package, he really is. And forget about Daniels' age. Daniels can still go. And Daniels definitely has deserved a world title reign, and I think he will get one day. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon, because this win from Austin Aries busts Daniels down to number 5, which means before the final promo of the night, the finals of the Bound for Glory series were Magnus, Austin Aries, Bobby Roode, and Jeff Hardy. That's an okay Final Four. I don't have a problem with it. Kind of sucks Daniels didn't get in. But Roode is the representation of ego, so that's fine. It makes sense. No Main Event Mafia, no Aces and Eights. Actually, Main Event Mafia is represented. Aces and Eights are not. We get to our final promo of the evening. This is where it got interesting. Hulk Hogan comes out. So he decides on the fly to change the entire Bound for Glory series. He's like, I've been talking to the Spike TV brass, brother, and I've decided there's going to be one more match, dude. So next week, there's going to be a gauntlet match to determine who gets 20 points in the final match in the Bound for Glory series, and after tomorrow night, I can say that now, after tomorrow night's Impact, there will be 4 men left standing. They will go into a 4-way dance at No Surrender next week to determine who will face Bully Ray for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship October 20th at Bound for Glory. If Bully Ray's still the champion. And the reason I bring that up is because Hulk Hogan makes another announcement. He basically says that Bully Ray will have to defend the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at No Surrender against a member of the Aces and Eights, which we know is going to be Mr. Anderson. Because we know that the collusion I talked about in the first segment is going to come to a head. Anderson and Bully Ray at No Surrender. And I don't have a problem with that. Does that mean we turn Mr. Anderson babyface when this is all said and done? Maybe. It's possible. You don't turn Bully Ray babyface. I mean, you have the entire Aces and Eights kick him out of the group. I mean, that makes Bully Ray a babyface by default. But you don't do that. That's dumb. Or maybe the Aces and Eights turn babyfaces, getting rid of Bully Ray, their evil, tyrannical leader. Where have I heard this before? So that's not the only thing. So Bully Ray is pretty pissed off, and he says, also, Hulk Hogan says, I've been looking into some personal matters, and I didn't even need your signature. I got some divorce papers. So the divorce papers are served to him. So he says Brooke is moving on with her life. So it's funny because I didn't mention this in order. I just decided I want to talk about it. Two big problems. Well, sorry, I'll get to that in a minute. So, long day. Bully is like beside himself. He's like, I'm not facing one of my Aces and Eights brothers, and you can't tell me what to do. And Hogan's like, you know who I am, Jack? And he basically says that he is not only going to be defending the World Heavyweight Championship at No Surrender, he's going to be defending the World Championship tomorrow night against the Icon Sting. Sting comes out, they have a little brawl, Sting clotheslines Bully Ray, Bully powders, and that's the end of the show. Okay, here's Owen's rant mode. Before I get into the Bound for Glory series, let's talk about the problems with Hulk Hogan's promo. First off, Hulk says, I'm going to read this verbatim so I can make sure I got this right. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to read this, make sure I got this right. In 2 weeks, Bully Ray will face the In 2 weeks, Bully Ray will face a member of the Aces of Eights. Not Aces and Eights, Aces of Eights. Really, Hulk? Really? And on top of that, he says that Sting against Bully Ray will be for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but earlier this year, there was a little event called, Slammiversary. And it was on pay-per-view, which is the last time TNA was on pay-per-view. And there was this match that Sting had against Bully Ray with the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line, that the stipulation was thrown in there that if Sting lost, he could never get another World Heavyweight title shot. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's one of two things. Either A, Hogan just misquoted it and just, on the spur of the moment, decided to make it a title match, which it won't be. Or B, they're really doing this title match only a couple months after they said Sting would never get another world title shot. Sometimes it just confuses me. It really does. But we'll find out tomorrow, since I waited so long to do this video. And tomorrow, this is what we have to look forward to. I'll talk about another thing Hogan had, but I'll talk about that in the Bound for Glory series. So, it's going to be Bully Ray against Sting. Not sure if it'll be for the World Heavyweight Championship or not. I would say probably not. And then the 12-man last chance gauntlet with 20 points on the line, every superstar in the Bound for Glory series. And Chris Sabin returns, and he's going to get up on the horse again after losing the World Heavyweight Championship and see where he goes from here. And apparently Mickie James has also said that she has a special performance for tomorrow's broadcast. Hulk Hogan says verbatim that someone could win this gauntlet tomorrow night and they could possibly propel themselves into the Final Four. Okay, let's talk about this, shall we? The Final Four, as of this very moment, is Magnus with 39, Austin Aries with 35, Bobby Roode with 34, and Jeff Hardy with 31. Christopher Daniels is in 5th place with 30, so like I said, that 1 point I talked about earlier, it's very true. Then we have AJ Styles has 29. And then we have Samoa Joe with 26. It's very close to the top. Like, the top 10 is very close. Mr. Anderson has 24. Kaz has 22. And then we fall off. Joseph Park has 17. And, of course, Hernandez and Jay Bradley are tied with 7. If Jay Bradley or Hernandez were to win this, they still wouldn't be in the Final Four. Joseph Park, actually, Joseph Park would... Yeah, Joseph Park would be in 3rd place if he won this match. So yeah, Joseph Park could still get in. So, technically that's not true, because only the top 10 have a chance of winning the Bound for Glory series spot in the Final Four. Because even if Bradley or Hernandez won, it wouldn't matter because they still don't have enough points. Joseph Park, who is in 10th place, who started the Bound for Glory series in negative points, could potentially, he won't, but could potentially get into the Final Four by virtue of winning this hardcore, I'm used to calling it a hardcore gauntlet, this gauntlet match. So, you have Magnus, you have Aries, you have Roode, you have Hardy. Well, one of these guys is not making it in. It's not Magnus. Magnus is fine. And, you know, it's not Austin Aries. Aries is fine. And I don't think it's Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode's fine. You know? I think Jeff Hardy's getting bumped out of the Bound for Glory series. Final Four. Tomorrow. I don't know anything to the contrary. I didn't read results. And I'm not going to look at results. And I don't want you to see you post it's like, oh, and ha ha ha, you were wrong. No. I don't read TNA spoilers. Because I want genuine emotion from myself whenever I talk about them here to you guys. So, that's the reason why I don't do TNA spoilers or reading them. And that's also the reason why I never talked about any of the Bound for Glory series points that were attained on house shows. I could have, but I never did. Basically, even though it has taken place on house shows, the Bound for Glory series that I've talked about has been the one that has been chronicled on television, whether it's Impact or pay-per-view. So, you know, there's a lot of direction you can go with this. Let's talk about the top 10. Joseph Park's not winning. Kaz is not going to win. Mr. Anderson's not going to win. He's already got a world title shot. It's alright. Samoa Joe's not going to win. I really want Christopher Daniels to win. He's not going to either. Jeff Hardy's not winning. He's out of the series. He's out of the Final Four at least. Bobby Roode doesn't need to win. Austin Aries doesn't need to win. Magnus doesn't need to win. You know who's going to win the Bound for Glory gauntlet match tomorrow? AJ Styles. So the finals of the Bound for Glory series will be AJ, who's by himself. Magnus, who's with the Main Event Mafia. Austin Aries, who's by himself. And the final participant is Bobby Roode from the Extraordinary Gentlemen's Organization. So you have 2 members of stables and 2 loners. And the winner of that match will face off with the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, whether it is Bully Ray or Mr. Anderson, at Bound for Glory. So many directions you can go with this. You have to think the end game is AJ winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship from Bully Ray. Then you have to think about the smart mark idea. Well, AJ just signed a contract extension. He's not guaranteed to be TNA for life. He's not guaranteed to be with TNA for the long run. Why would you even think about rewarding him with the championship when he was thinking about leaving the company? Well, what do? You can't have Bobby Roode win because you have a World Heavyweight Champion that's a heel. And I wouldn't have a problem with Magnus winning at all, but I don't think it's going to happen. They build him up too much. He's been too unstoppable in the Bound for Glory series. He can't win. So that pretty much has been a detriment to him. So it's down to AJ and Austin Aries. The question is who you put the company on. You put the company on AJ Styles and potentially risk him leaving the company eventually and then have to take the title off of him down the road. Or do you finally let Austin Aries run with it yet again? There's a lot of directions you can go with this. Either way, I think either Aries or AJ, or even Magnus for that matter, beats Bully Ray at Bound for Glory and ends the Aces and Eights once and for all. I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I think some sort of a stipulation match with the Main Event Mafia and the Aces and Eights is at Bound for Glory. I would honestly do the stipulation, losing stable must disband. And you have the Aces and Eights lose, and then they go their separate ways, and they do whatever they want. You can fire whomever you want. I would not answer your phone if I were you, Mike Knox. Anyway, no disrespect, but I mean, yeah, I wouldn't answer your phone if I were you. Especially if TNA's calling at this point. You have a lot of things to go with in the Bound for Glory series, and I said AJ was going to win all along, and you know, I'm thinking it still might happen, but I want to reserve my judgment for tomorrow. So I'm just going to leave it at that. AJ or Aries beats Bully Ray for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship at Bound for Glory. One way or another. And you know, I even could see Magnus winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship from Bully Ray at Bound for Glory. So either way, Bully Ray is going to lose the TNA World Heavyweight Championship to a babyface at Bound for Glory. That's how it should be. Because that's the end of the TNA's year. It's TNA's WrestleMania. It's where everything starts over again. So, a lot more than I thought I was going to say tonight. So, we'll be joining you tomorrow with TNA Impact. TNA Impact will be tomorrow's video. And like I said, I will try my best not to differentiate from the plan as much as I have been lately. Wrestling fans, you can join me again on Saturday for NXT and SmackDown recap. I actually probably will watch SmackDown live on Friday night, provided I'm able to. And then I will do the recap for Saturday morning. AJ's movie reviews this week is going to be the Riddick trilogy. Yeah, we're going to be doing the Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, and Riddick. So, obviously, Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and Riddick are the actual order. That's going to be the video. And if you like those movies, yeah, you might not like this video. Because AJ and I both don't like the first two Riddick movies, and not looking forward to this Riddick movie that we're watching tomorrow. So, there's that still to come. We've got a Versus this week. The Versus for this week, I gave you a cryptic comment of Headlock. Well, Headlock has been postponed a week. The new cryptic comment is Vigilante. Yes, it is Vigilante. So yeah, you put two and two together and try to figure out what's going on with that. Sunday, of course, will be our Versus, and Monday we're going to talk Monday Night Raw, and of course, Tuesday... excuse me. Tuesday, we got some more stuff still to come. The Halloween Horror Nights 23 commercial has yet to be released. I'm sure to be released before either this week is over. I'd say before Monday we're going to get our release of the actual commercial, the actual promo for the event itself. And after that happens, I will drop you some more Halloween Horror Nights 23 knowledge, and we're going to be talking more about that. So, we've got, like I said, a lot of stuff still to come tomorrow, which is... I'm looking at a calendar right now, so I'm not going to be wrong on this. Tomorrow's the 5th. Tomorrow the 5th is going to be TNA Impact. Friday the 6th is going to be AJ's movie reviews of the Riddick trilogy. The 7th is going to be NXT and SmackDown. The 8th is going to be the new Versus. It's the Cryptic Comment is Vigilante. And Monday is going to be Raw. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's it. That's it, folks. It's over. So, yeah. Thursday is going to be No Surrender, and of course, after that, we'll do NXT and SmackDown on Saturday. 14th will be, God, I'm just, out of it today. So, Thursday the 5th is going to be tomorrow, and that is Impact. The 12th, Thursday, is going to be No Surrender. The 19th, I go to Florida, so I'm not going to be doing any more recaps unless I decide to change my mind. On the 13th, you're going to get AJ's movie reviews of Riddick. On the 20th, you're going to get AJ's movie reviews of movies to be announced, actually, at this point. I know Insidious is on this list. I know The Family's on this list. We're looking at, actually, we're getting Austin Land and Spectacular Now. And Ain't Them Body Saints are coming to Athens, so we're going to check those out. So, AJ, if you're watching this video, hopefully you watch the end of this so I can give you that information. So, yeah. We got that still to come. That Saturday, of course, will be NXT and SmackDown on the 14th. On the 15th, we got the brand new Versus with the Cryptic Comment of Headlock. The 16th is Raw. The 17th is final videos before I leave, and then the 18th, one last video, and then on the 19th, through October 1st, Disney Universal, Disney Universal, Disney Universal, and a little bit of SeaWorld thrown inside. So that's the schedule for the rest of this month up until I leave. So if you like these videos, tell your friends about them. Do leave a comment. Do subscribe to this channel. You're more than welcome to tweet me if you want. It's at Sir Owen Disney. You can follow me on Twitter. I'd really appreciate that. You can also send me an email if you want to email me something at siroandisney@gmail.com, or if you want to friend me on Facebook. I'm very easy to find. My birthday's coming up September 21st. Keep that in mind. Owen Disney on Facebook. So, until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.